and welcome to another Chelsea chat. And last night away at Tottenham Hotspur FC, it was Tottenham 1, Chelsea 4. Now, I've still heard, what a game. I'll tell you what, in all my years of watching football, that's right up there in the most bizarre game league. At some points, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Spurs, having started like a locomotive train, just went all Spursy and threw it away again. They seem more intent on kicking us than they do playing us off the pitch when they're full of confidence and they've got a full first team out, and we're lacking in confidence and we've got loads of injuries still. So I don't know what's wrong with them. Spursiness is a thing. So yeah, they started like a train. Our side looked decent on paper. Sanchez in goal, Reece James at right back, Colwood at left back, with Dizazi right side of Thiago Silva. In the middle we had Enzo and Caicedo. In front of them we had Sterling, Gallagher and Cole Palmer. And up front we had Nico Jackson. And so it began, and in the first 10 minutes, I'm not going to lie, I just thought to myself, I can't watch this. They did. They literally started like a steam train. Maddison put a decent ball in. I thought maybe no midfielders near it. We were all running back. It went out. I can't remember the guy's name who scored for Spurs, but it was a lucky deflection off of Levi Colwill. Spurs seemed to be raving about it. Gary Neville seemed to be raving about it. And I thought to myself, well, in the old days, that was just an own goal. It was a deflection that gave Sanchez no chance. So that's a great goal. Well, I'll eat my hat. Minutes later, Son scored. Tore us apart. Literally tore us apart. And fortunately, it was given offside. So I thought, right, come on, Chelsea. You've been given a second chance here. Let's pick it up. And they did. There was a double-footed challenge on Sterling by, was it Udogie? We'll call him Udogie. And didn't, fortunately, only clipped Sterling's foot. Must still have hurt though. Studs up all the way in. And then the most bizarre thing I've ever heard. Because when you think of like the Gusto sending off, a few other sending offs, and this wasn't a sending off, because it was petulant rather than violent. End of the day, you kick out at someone, that's a red card. But supposedly now there are degrees. There must be very violent, petulant, a little bit ungentlemanly, not worth thinking about. They must grade it like that. But when did this come in? Petulant, not violent. He kicked out. He kicked out and he made contact. Colwill seemed to lose his head after that. I suppose he thought it was unjust. He's a young man. We forget how young he is. But fortunately, Poch had the hindsight to take him off at half time. Sterling then goes forward. Nice bit of skill in the box. Persistence as well. And scores a goal, but it's given handball, so it was disallowed after a long time of VAR. When, to be fair, within seconds you can see it's a handball. And shortly after that, Caicedo scores a scorcher against a really good Spurs goalkeeper, by the way. Without that goalkeeper last night, that could have been 7 or 8. But yeah, Caicedo scores. I'm up. I'm running around the living room. I'm singing. I'm dancing, I'm slurping my red wine like nobody's business, and it's disallowed because of Jackson standing in an offside position, standing in front of the goalkeeper. Okay, fair enough. But in the build-up to that, Romero had made the most horrible tackle on his World Cup teammate, Enzo Fernandez. I mean, I don't know what that was all about. I don't know if Enzo's, put DB in his jockstrap during the World Cup or something. But it didn't seem to be any love lost there, did there? And Romero got his marching orders, hoping he gets 3 games violent conduct. But I'm hoping he gets an extra game for giving it all that to the ref and not walking straight off like I think a couple of Chelsea players have had in the past. So Romero's gone. They're down to 10 men. We scored a penalty. Cole Palmer, goalkeeper again, gets his hand on it, but Cole Palmer's a bit like Harry Kane, I think, when he's taking a penalty. Right near the post, dead hard, and full conviction. It's back to 1-1. Second half starts. We huff, we puff. They're still playing this high line. They're still dangerous on the break. But we seem to have, we can't break down a low block. We can't play against a high line either, because what you normally do is you forward, instead of, well, he can stand offside if he wants, but your midfielders. Imagine Frankie Lampard playing against that last night. Your midfielders time it. The wing backs and even the forwards, other midfielders, they look for the run of that, or even a wing back. Chilwell's done it loads of times. But last night, Cucurella, he got through, and I thought to myself, now he's done it, the floodgates are open. We got enough pace on there. We eventually brought Mudryk on. Mudryk should have had a field day, shouldn't he? But we just didn't play it right. Time your runs, run from deep, get midfielders going through that high line, and Bob's your uncle. So I was frustrated, very frustrated. But finally, I think it was it Sterling or Gallagher for the second goal? I think it was Sterling. It could have been Gallagher. I think which way those two came in. He got away. Nicholas Jackson, who'd been standing offside, ran with I think it was Sterling, and ran with him, tucked it away nicely. Nice finish at speed. Well done, Nicholas Jackson. Do great for your confidence. Then after a couple of scares, great save from Sanchez from Son down to his left, and another one where there was I can't remember who it was that got in a position for a header. Doesn't matter really because they missed. They've been watching videos of Timo Werner, I'm sure, but they missed. After that, we broke away again. I think it was Gallagher, beat the high press, passed it into the middle. Nico Jackson put it away at speed. Well done, Nico Jackson. Must have done his confidence even more good. And then that was in the 94th minute. Then in the 97th minute, because of all the VAR we'd had, it added 22 minutes onto that game. Absolutely ridiculous. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, the final one I thought was Jackson's best one. Mudryk and him broke. It looked like he was going to pass to Mudryk. Mudryk fooled the goalkeeper. Jackson walked round the goalkeeper and tucked it in. Proper centre forwards goal. So well done, Nico Jackson. I'm not going to say that makes you the new Drogba or anything, but it must really do your confidence some good. Noticed he kissed the badge, so I'm guessing he must be leaving the club at the end of the season. So yeah, well done, Nico Jackson. And I was pleased for the boy because he's had his critics, including me. But what can you say? 3. Could have had 5, to be fair, but he got 3, and I'm not gonna criticise that. So the VAR, yeah, absolutely crazy amount of time. But as Postecoglou said after the game, and I thought he spoke brilliantly, by the way. I wonder what he'd be like when Tottenham have lost a few games, because I remember him having a bit of a breakdown when he was manager of Celtic. But he spoke very well last night, said you can't blame the refs, blah, 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 blah. But he was saying about the VAR, and I was thinking all them muscle injuries that they got, which made my night, absolutely made my night. Not only did Romero go for 3 games, Maddison went down. I know it's terrible. I don't normally like to see players get injured, but we're talking Tottenham. Maddison went down, hamstring, that's going to be a few weeks out. Who else went down? Oh, their centre half, he went down. That's going to be a long while. That's going to be a long one out. And your doggy, he's going to get a 1-match ban at least. But I think when I look at that, the first tackle as well will be taken into consideration. So let's wait and see on that one. But yeah, it was a great night all round. It wasn't just a score; it was a fact they lost so many players as well. Might get a little bit of that, less of that from my Spurs mates now. That was it. But this VAR taking so long. I mean, I could imagine Reece James. He's had so many problems with his hamstring. I wonder if that was partly the reason he got taken off, because you know, all that stop starting. These are proper high level athletes, and I'm thinking to myself, they're going to be getting cold. You stop for 5 minutes. I mean, if you go to a race, if you go to a 100 metres race and it has to be delayed, they're back with their tracksuits on, warming up again. So I do wonder. I think this VAR, they've got so much criticism, and deservedly so. But now I think they're taking half hour to come to the right decision. They're so... I don't know. I'm still anti-VAR for everything apart from offsides. And I think we should bring in that system that they've got in the Champions League, where it's like Hawkeye. It's like a tennis net. If you're a centimetre offside, it's given. But it's done straight away, automatically. I think we should... we voted against it, apparently, for the Premier League, but if you're going to use it, just use it. There's no arguments. Yeah, he was a centimetre offside. There's no arguments then. I think we've got to bring it in. We've got to bring this time down. It's absolutely ridiculous, and I don't think it's good for the players. So, last night, let's get straight on to the scoring. Sanchez gets a 7. Couple of lousy bits of distribution. Then he got caught out once, but largely his distribution was good. And that save from Son, absolutely outstanding. And he had no chance with a goal. He gets a 7. Right back, Reece gets a 6.5. Nowhere near his best yet, but got forward. Couple of great balls in. One ball he put in was absolutely superb, but no one gambling on it. This is where I want to see Nico Jackson in that box gambling. Some of our midfielders gamble. But yeah, Reece is looking more like it. Another, 65 minutes under his belt. Well done, Reece. 6.5. Dizazi last night I thought was all over the place, to be honest. But I'm not going to be hypercritical because we've just beat Tottenham 4-1. He's getting a 5.5. Particularly in the first 10-15 minutes. Wasn't picking up. He was out of position. Gave the ball away a couple of times. I don't know what he was doing last night. Thiago Silva last night gets a 7. Steady Eddie as always. Left back, Colwill gets a 5.5. We're playing Spurs. We're playing against 10 men. And he decides to have a fight because one of these idiots... He feels aggrieved. He didn't get anything for that kick, I think. And to be honest, they were at it all night. It wasn't just the ones they got booked and sent off for. They were at it all night. There was some real dark arts going on. But that young lad has got to learn in the same way that Terry had to learn. Terry was a bit up and at him when he was young. He's got to learn. That's what's going to happen. And that's what's going to happen in the Champions League. And that's what's going to happen when you play in these World Cups. They do all sorts. You know, they'll even pinch your back. You know, skin on your back and that. You just got to get on with it and be professional and know that's going to happen. Don't get involved. So he gets a 5.5 because he was doing all right. Some of his defending was decent. Should have got a bit nearer to the guy that shot, I guess. And I'm not all sure about all this turning your back on a shot. When that goal went in, he was looking towards his goalkeeper. So sometimes you've got to get hurt. So 5.5. In the middle there, I thought Enzo was really good last night. Buzzing around the place. And I hope he's not injured because that was a nasty tackle. And obviously he got brought off for Mudryk. So I hope it's not an injury. Because if it's only bruising, because we're playing on the Monday, we're not playing again till Sunday. Hopefully he'll be okay. But any worse than that, it'll be a shame. Caicedo last night gets a 7.5. Thought he was excellent. Thought he was everywhere. Gave the ball away a couple of times, but every other aspect of his game and most of his passing was absolutely superb. A real nuisance to play against. I thought he outshone Basuma last night. in front of them. I'll start with Gallagher. Not his greatest game, but he gets a 6. I would like to have seen him running through to beat this high line. I think he's got the intelligence to do it. I don't know why he didn't. And when he eventually did, we scored from it. Sterling, he gets a 6.5. He was a nuisance, got an assist. He was direct. No, do you know what? He's going to get a 7. He's going to get a 7. Yeah, he was decent. He was decent last night. Cole Palmer gets an 8. I thought, again, he was superb. He played a couple of balls forward that no one ran onto. I don't know if you noticed that. And he was sort of shaking his head. The boy's got a real good football brain on him. Cool with a penalty, and yeah, I just like everything I see. Man of the match with 8.5, and I never thought I'd be saying this, is hat-trick hero Nico Jackson. And that's hopefully done the boy a lot of good confidence-wise. I said at the start of the season when he was playing with Nkunku, is it Nkunku? It is Nkunku, isn't it? I said at the start of the season they looked a good partnership because one's strengths and one's weaknesses seem to complement the other one's strengths and weaknesses. They seem to equal each other out and they looked a real force up front. So let's hope when Nkunku or Nkunku, whatever you want to call him, is back, let's hope that we see the best of Nico Jackson. If he keeps getting 3s like last night, you won't hear any complaints from me anyway. Poch last night gets a 7. You could see he was frustrated by people not running from that midfield. You could see him barking orders and telling them to. That's it. He called Gallagher and I'm trying to think who else it was. Called both of them over. And Mudryk, I think it was. And you could see him saying, back and go. And so he was frustrated. Well done game management with Colwill. And 4-1 away at his former club. Well done, Pochettino. And he said all the right things after as well, didn't he? He said, look, at the end of the day, no matter what former attachment I had to this side, this club, I just want 3. I just wanted 3 points for my current club, professional. That's all you can do. So there we go. That's it, folks. That's my views. I thought it showed how lacking in confidence we are. I thought it showed how young and naive we are. But it also showed that we're open to learning. And I think once this team has a little bit more experience in it, and which hopefully it will have in January, and has a bit more coaching from the Pochmeister, we'll be in a good place. We'll certainly be a lot higher than 10th where we are now. Chelsea 4, Tottenham 1. Music to the ears. Okay, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Please let me know your thoughts, what you agree with, what you disagree with. And I shall speak to you after Manchester City. Hope I'm smiling then. Thanks for watching. Up to Chelsea.